This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Grace Remington alongside Will Hill as we begin hour 2 of the program. Live betting, NBA, MLB, NHL, some golf, everything we got going on today. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thank you for making the world a much more wonderful place. And I hope everyone is celebrating their mothers in the way that they deserve today. So thank you for tuning in. Let's get started in hour 2 here with a look in at OKC and Denver, who have just come out of halftime. The Thunder leading 42-36. They are a live favorite of 7.5 with this live total down to 193.5 after a poor shooting performance on both sides in that first half, Will.
Yeah, I like over 193.5. First of all, with a spread of 7.5, if it plays to the spread, you're in that foul zone where if it's a 7-point game with a couple minutes to go, you might get, a good 15, 20 points at the end, garbage time of just fouling, layup, foul, three, that kind of thing where you're just looking to play catch up. So always look at the spread when you're betting the total. You could get some cheap points at the end if we do stay around the spread. That's a perfect foul zone. Plus, these teams, look, at one point, we're 1 of 18 from 3, and they hit a few at the end here to up that percentage. But you got to figure the volume is there for the threes. The shots eventually start to fall here between these two teams. And look, OKC was an over machine, a scoring machine all year with their pace and their great offense. And Denver's a really good offensive team and not that good of a defensive team. So I think, I know it's high here when you got 78 points in the first half to expect 115 or so in the second half. But I would only look towards the over here in the second half.
So, Will, I want to make sure I understood this right because you are the NBA bettor. I'm just here for fun. Instead of betting the over 193.5, were you saying because of this key number on the spread to consider betting this OKC instead of the over, or are you just using that spread to guide you toward the, I guess, which comes first? Chicken or the egg?
It's the second one. It's the fact that how do you expect the game to go? If OKC was favored by 20, you worry about what we saw yesterday with Knicks Celtics, where both teams just dribble out the clock the last minute and you get a dead minute and a half. But with a spread around 7, not that it's automatically going to land around 7, but it's at least a guide for where the game is supposed to be around. If it's around 7, that's a perfect zone for, all right, I foul you, and then you go to the line, then I get a quick three, and then foul again, and then you get garbage points at the end. So that's, blowouts typically good for unders, and really, really close game is good for unders. It's more so in college, but it works in the NBA too, where, if it's tied with 3 minutes to go, unless you go to overtime, usually the unders the play because max intensity defense, you don't get the fouls at the end. So always keep in mind what the spread is when betting the total. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I love that. Thank you. So 7.5 would put us at a 3-possession game. What if it gets to 8.5? Are we trying to stay in that 3-possession game there? Because once we get to 9.5, that's 4 possessions, not as close. So you're trying to stay within that 2-3 possession range?
Yeah, I wouldn't use it as the whole handicap, but just the fact that it's in that range of, all right, there's a possibility at the end here where you get a bunch of points here with the fouls. But Denver with a nice start here in the second half. Jokic hits a 3. It's now 45-41. They have the ball, and they are cutting into this lead here. So Denver, boy, OKC is going to have some regret about just missed opportunities here with how poorly they shot and not extending their lead. Of course, Denver can say the same thing. Hey, if we made shots, we'd be in the lead. So all things considered here, we might be in for a really exciting second half here. And I think the winner of this game's got a good shot not only to win the series, but maybe come out of the West. I don't want to dismiss Minnesota. I do think Golden State's dead without Curry. But I think the winner of this series would have home court in the conference finals. They would. And I think the winner of this game probably wins the series. So a very important 22-plus minutes of basketball coming here.
Right now, the odds for the Western Conference winner, still OKC minus 150, then the T-Wolves at plus 250, the Nuggets plus 450, and then the Warriors at 22-1. So the Thunder leading this one 47-43 with about 9:50 to go here in the third quarter. OKC alive, 6.5 point favorite with that total 196.5 now. An update on the ice now. Game 3 between the Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. Tied up at 1 apiece, Kyle Connor, the lone goal scorer for the Jets, and Hintz, the goal scorer for the Stars. The Stars came into this one as a -130 favorite on the live money line. They're still sitting around there. The Jets are +110. They had closed as a +125 dog on the money line. And let's get into some baseball here too. Right now, the Giants and Twins in extra innings. Giants scored in the top of the 10th, so they take a 6-5 lead. Twins now with their shot, they have runners on the corners in the bottom of the 10th, and oh nope, they actually just scored. So it is 6-all, a 6-all tie. Ball of my live scores are a little bit laggy right now, but the point is that game is tied. And the Rockies up 8-1 in the top of the 8th against the Padres. The Yankees leading the A's 6-0 in the top of the 4th. The Angels leading the Orioles 2-1 in the top of the 4th. I was leaning the Angels' way. Didn't actually fire on that one. The Dodgers leading the D-backs 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. And the Blue Jays and Mariners tied up at 1 apiece. So if we were thinking about Bryce Miller, granted, it's only through 3 innings, kind of looking like he's doing okay. Yeah. 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts on 44 pitches. And it looks like Urena only went 2 innings.
The Padres do play a run here. They did have second and third, nobody out. They were 13-1 on the money line. I said, so I take a shot on it, but no, they're down 7 runs. They're only getting 13-1. They get a sac fly. It's now 8-2. They have a man on. 20-1 on the money line. Probably not worth it, right?
With top of the 8th, no. No, like I said earlier, they have a 3-game series at home against the Angels beginning tomorrow. So I don't think they need this game. Granted, it's a divisional game. I don't know how much a divisional game against the Rockies matters, but I think Padres are doing okay. They are 25-13 in the division. Dodgers are 26-14. That's going to be a really cool race. I know we had a few colleagues talking earlier in the week about betting the Padres +700 to win the NL West. I get it. That's a tempting bet to make, but I just think with the Dodgers, the only way to beat them is 5 of their starters have to go down to get them down to 4 like a 4-man rotation instead of a 9-man rotation, I just see that, I don't know how else you catch them.
We already got a couple of them, though. Snell hurt, Glasnow hurt. I know it's funny. It's almost like, what's the game? Whack-a-mole. Where, all right, a couple of them got hurt. Well, then Kershaw's coming back. And not that he's the same pitcher anymore, and Gonsolin's back, but they've just got so many different guys. As OKC hits a 3 here, it's now 52-48 OKC. Denver did get within a point for a moment. I'm with you. And, of course, trade deadline's not that far away. They're going to add guys. But at 7-1, I get it, at 7-1. I mean, the Dodgers, as great as they are in that lineup, it's just like a damn all-star team. They do roll out a couple guys every 5 days that you never really heard. Landon Knack, and they threw some other guy the other day that I've never heard of. It's just they do. Mm-hmm. They are thin on pitching, even though we're only 6 weeks in. But look, they had all these injuries last year in terms of the pitching, and they won the World Series. So I get taking a shot at the 7-1 though.
They won the World Series throwing bullpen games.
I know.
That's insane. But that's kind of my point. They can get as thin as they want. Their 4 worst starting pitchers are probably MLB average. And with that lineup and a better than average bullpen, you can still, they're not going to win 100 games. I'm saying if half their rotation gets wiped out. I took the under 103.5 to start the season. So I like to see them lose. I'm just saying, they can get injured double as much as the next team, and I just don't know how much it actually impacts them. So, I don't know. I got to do some thinking on those NL West odds. By the way, take the thinking out of your betting. VSiN.com makes it a lot easier with our betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. I check these out pretty much every day of the week. So if you really want to know where the money is going, check out the betting splits, because unlike other sources, ours come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action is landing. That's what Circa is known for. They take big bets from the professional bettors, while DraftKings gives you a more broader market perspective. You know, maybe your college-age brother, he's the one on DraftKings. So that's valuable insight, knowing where the money's coming in on DraftKings versus Circa. And it's in live time. These betting splits are updated every 5 minutes, so you can see the percentage of bets versus the percentage of handle on every game in every major sport, helping to make you a smarter, more informed bet. Get VSiN's exclusive betting splits for as little as $9.99 for your first month at VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Another score update for y'all here. The Jets and the Stars still tied at 1 apiece, under 9 minutes to go. Oh, I'm sorry, under 4 minutes to go in that first period. The Thunder now trailing the Nuggets. Am I seeing that right, Will?
Yep. Yes.
Denver's up 53-52.
Denver up a point. Yep. Crazy.
Wow. This is exciting. So OKC now a live 2.5-point favorite, and that total still low, 195.5. Well, this will be a fun one. We finally get a competitive NBA game on our live show here.
Should be fun. A lot on the line, too.
All right, coming up next, we have been talking about OKC Denver, but let's take a look at the other game 4 we have going on tonight. Cleveland, a 5.5-point favorite in Indiana. We'll break down that game and get into some more baseball. This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Will Hill is with me. I'm Grace Remington as we take you through all the live action today. We have a final score in Minnesota. The Twins walk it off in extras, 7-6 over the Giants. They win as a -160 favorite on the money line. The total sails over the 8.5. Deshaun Kelsey Jr. is the hero of the game with the walk-off RBI single. Pablo Lopez, not a great game for him. He goes 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, but 4 earned runs given up on 5 hits. Landon Roop was on the other side. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. Couple other baseball updates for you, if I can get to it. You know what? Maybe I can't today. Oh, no, I got it. All right. Rockies still leading the Padres 8-3 after losing to San Diego 21-0 yesterday. That's a football score. They lost by 3 touchdowns on a baseball diamond. Bottom of the 8th there in Colorado. The Yankees leading the A's 6-1 in the bottom of the 4th. The Angels leading the O's 2-1, bottom of the 4th. The Dodgers leading the D-backs 1-0. Got a close game there in Arizona, mid-4th. And the Blue Jays on top of the Mariners in Seattle, 2-1, bottom of the 4th. Let's get back to the NBA now, because we have a nice little competitive game all of a sudden here. The Nuggets leading the Thunder 58-52 with less than 5 minutes to go in the third. Will, what are your thoughts?
Nervous time here for OKC. They've had this great regular season, all-time numbers in a lot of categories, net margin and all this stuff. Just hate to say it, but they're kind of looking like they were a bully in the regular season, a front runner. When they're up by 30 and they're playing all these bad teams, they dominate. But when things get tight, it's SGA, and there's not a lot else around him offensively. That was the concern from a lot of people, NBA people, anonymous sources. I remember Brian Windhorst saying he talked to people behind the scenes. They're not going to say it publicly, but behind the scenes, they're not that scared of OKC. They think it's SGA and not a lot else. That's been proven true, at least so far. Denver won both games that were close. OKC gagged away game 1. Denver steals game 3 at home. And now, after being down double digits in the first half, and OKC looking like they're in good shape, it is now Denver up by 6. And I wouldn't count OKC out if it's 3-1 Denver, because you get 5 at home, you get 7 at home. It's really just figure out a way to win, steal 6, even though 5 and 7 are not automatic. But this is very dangerous territory for OKC, especially when Jokic is on the other side. If Denver can get this game and Jokic has 3 chances to win one game, it's obviously a big advantage here for Denver. So a fascinating another quarter and a half of basketball left. The live line is Denver now laying 2.5 minus 135 on the money line, total down to 190.5. OKC just can't make a shot. OKC, this live total had creeped up to like 196.5. It was 194.5 at halftime. OKC just can't score, though. I don't have the 3-point numbers in front of me, but just watch this game. Every time you look up, they're firing up a brick. So very nervous times here this next quarter and a half here for the Thunder. Have had this great regular season. It would be a disaster if they couldn't get out of the second round.
The Thunder, a 1.5-point live favorite right now. And if you bet them to cover, you can get it at plus 105 odds. Meanwhile, this is pacing for an even lower total than it was at halftime. The live total now 190.5. But it's interesting, Will, before this series began, you know, we were talking to a bunch of people on VSiN about how would they cap the series, because Thunder was such a big favorite.
Right.
And the popular opinion I heard was that, bet a game exacta, like OKC to win 4-1 or 4-2, because Jokic will give the Thunder at least one game. Well, they won that first game, and then they won the second one and it really was an inefficient night for Jokic. And at that point, I thought the broadcast summed it up well. After the game, they said, what does this say about OKC when they lose on a bad Jokic shooting night?
Right.
And I think that's a good point that you just made, that they were just a bully in the regular season, which is kind of, I mean, it's interesting to think about because the Western Conference is so competitive. I would just assume you could trust any team that comes out of that conference, if that makes sense. But we'll see in a pivotal game when it matters who comes out on top. Right now, the line has... Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone loves Dagnall. If you hear NBA people, oh, he's the best coach in the league or one of the best coaches. He's brilliant, all this stuff, which I have no reason to dispute. It's amazing how interchangeable these NBA coaches are, because he is widely considered one of the best coaches in the league. And Denver basically picked their coach out of the stands 10 minutes before the playoffs started. They fire Malone. They say, all right, this guy at the end of the bench, he can coach the team. And then he beats Tyronn Lue in a playoff series. Lue won a championship. Lue has this great roster. And now he's beating Dagnall. It's kind of remarkable here how seemingly interchangeable these NBA coaches are.
Yeah, that's funny. And I remember at the time the Nuggets had that slight boost in defense when the assistant coach took over, but it really, and that's what I thought the turning point would be. But they kind of went back down to league average in defensive rating, and in the playoffs as well, they're still league average in defensive rating. So they didn't even need that boost to last, and still they're making this very competitive against the best team in the league or in that conference. So the line has switched now. Denver is a live 1.5-point favorite. If you bet them to cover, the price is minus 130. And we have 3:34 to go in this third quarter as Denver leads 58-55. One thing you also said that I wanted to get to was taking SGA out of the game. Typically, when people say that, you got to take the star player out of the game, my mind goes, okay, how else are they becoming involved then? The assist line. And of course, we both talked about SGA's over 7.5 assists, because in this series, he has been leading everyone in potential assists, averaging almost 21 potential assists per game. He's only at 3 today. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you think he can get 4 more?
Probably not. I mean, he could. It's just they're not making shots right now. So, it was a good bet. It's just you're down to maybe a quarter. Here's the thing: the game could go to overtime. So what's the live number? Is the live number 5.5? I don't look towards the over.
I don't have him in front of me. I could pull it up if you have something else to say.
Yeah. No, just checking these other scores here. No, I mean, look, it's hard. Denver knocks down a three. It's now 61-55. Like you said, he's getting the attempt, so I would only look towards the over. But it's just that
you were right. It's
shots.
He must have just gotten an assist on that one because he was 5.5 when you said it. It's now 6.5 plus 130 to the over. Trying to see. I'm still seeing him at 3 on the box score, but maybe my computer's delayed. Either way, the over 6.5 assists for him as he sits at 3 plus 140. So we'll see. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, and he does get one here as he kicks the ball over into the corner.
Okay.
It looks like, couldn't tell if that's Williams that hit a 3, but that is an SGA assist as these teams trade threes. Now 61-58 with Denver having the ball, is starting to see the ball go through the hoop at least a little bit for these two teams, which has been a rare occasion in this game.
Yep. An insult to Brickfest, as you said earlier. Before we get to break, I do want to update the Truist Championship as they come through the home stretch here. Right now, Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka, the final pairing of the day, they've been neck and neck all day long, but both of them tied at 16 under with a 3-stroke lead over Justin Thomas through 15 holes. Sepp Straka, he is looking for his 4th tour title. Shane Lowry, meanwhile, hasn't won a title since the 2019 Open Championship. And I thought it was interesting, the approach they had coming into the day. Very opposite mindset. Sepp Straka is very much, he feels the stress. And it's, for him, he's talked about it's a little bit harder to manage, whereas Shane Lowry is cool as a cucumber, dude. He was kind of the one chasing Straka yesterday, so he came into today, he said, feeling no pressure. But Justin Thomas started the third round tied for third with Keith Mitchell. He is now in that solo spot at third at 13 under. This is his first start since winning the RBC Heritage. So for him, it would be back-to-back wins. If Lowry or Straka have a meltdown here, I don't think that's going to be the case. I was hoping for a Cantlay win here because I had played him 20-1 outright pre-tournament, and he started the day on fire with 5 birdies on his first 8 holes. Then he had a bogey on the 9th, but it could have been a double bogey. So I'm considering that a nice save, but he finishes the day with a score of 65. Right now he's 12 under, 6 strokes back of the lead. So basically, I just need an epic meltdown from the two co-leaders here. All right, coming up on the other side.
By the way, as we go to break. There you go.
Wow. All right. Well, hopefully someone was listening and took that live. More live bets on the other side.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, live betting all the action across all the sports today on Sunday, May 11th. Quick update in hockey here as the Jets and Stars go into their first intermission. Dallas leads 2-1 at the end of the first period. Coming into this game, they received the early action. They opened as a -130 favorite on the money line, got up to -150, and then eventually came back down. But looking at these circa splits, that seems to be where the respected money was going. The latest goal coming off the stick of Thomas Harley for Dallas. So right now, as it stands, they are a -304 favorite on the money line. If you want to bet the Jets to make a comeback, they are +225, and that live total sits at 7 goals. We've been tracking this NBA game all show long. The Nuggets leading the Thunder after starting the game off really slow. Now they're up 69-63, a live 3.5-point favorite, and this total continues pacing lower, 188.5 now at the end of the third quarter, Will.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where neither team could make a 3, and all of a sudden Denver has gotten red hot from 3 in this third quarter, and they've gotten them from a bunch of different guys, and OKC has remained ice cold from 3, and like we talked about, that's a lot of times the name of the game. So a very dicey, nerve-wracking 12 minutes here for OKC. They are going to, if they lose this game, and it looks like long time to go, but 6 minutes, 6-point lead it's not nothing. If they lose the game, not that they're done in the series, but the next 24, 48 hours is just going to be a bunch of people in the media like us, like these other shows, saying this was just a regular season team, a regular season merchant. When things get tough, they couldn't do it. They're front runners. They beat up on bad teams. Regular season doesn't equate to NBA to playoff success in the NBA anymore, because the NBA, they load manage. They kind of treat it as a preseason. It doesn't equate to what happens in the spring, and hard to argue. So a lot of drama here. I love this. I think it's going to be a fascinating ending. I wouldn't count OKC out yet, but I do get the sense that Denver, who, by the way, if I'm Denver, I'm not taking Jokic off the court. I'm not taking Murray off the court. I can smell blood. I got him on the ropes. I got to go for the kill here. I can't afford to sit Jokic, sit Murray, and have OKC go on one of these, 10-2 runs. 7 of 11 from 3 for Denver in that third quarter. So 3 of 22 in the first half, 7 of 11. You have a gut feel right now in terms of who wins the game?
I have no gut when it comes to the NBA. I kind of like the vibes, though. As you said, the drama. I don't know. I kind of want Denver to win. I root for chaos. That's what I root for. In any sport where I'm a casual observer, I root for chaos. So that is my answer.
Makes sense.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the only Thunder player who is in double-digit scoring right now, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Meanwhile, the Nuggets have 3 players in double-digit scoring. Jamal Murray with 13 points, Christian Braun with 17, and Nikola Jokic, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, as Denver leads 71-63, a live 3.5-point favorite, with that live total 188.5, a little over 11 minutes left in regulation. Let's go back to the diamond now. Take a look at some of these scores. Yankees and A's in the top of the 5th right now, with New York leading 6-1. The Orioles now taking the lead on the Angels 3-2. That game is in the bottom of the 5th. The Dodgers adding to their lead against their NL West Division rival Diamondbacks. LA leading 3-0 in the top of the 5th. The Blue Jays taking a bigger lead on the Mariners now in the top of the 5th, 5-1 Toronto. And we do have a Sunday night baseball game that we need to cap here. We haven't gotten to yet. So let's get into that one. The Phillies and the Guardians. It'll be Zach Wheeler against Luis Ortiz. Philly, a big favorite in this one, minus 173 on the money line. Cleveland plus 145 at home, and one of the lower totals of the day here, 7.5. What are your thoughts, Will?
Yeah, by the way, a 6-1 Yankees lead just turned into a 10-1 Yankees lead as Ben Rice hits a grand slam for the Yankees. They had a grand slam on Friday night with Dominguez. They hit another one now. Boy, it's hard to play an under in these Sacramento games, just especially when it's hot out. You get a team like the Yankees in there. Oakland, the A's have a good offense themselves. So 10-1, we're not even through 5 here.
Did I not? And I didn't even get my Aaron Judge home run, did I?
Oh, no, I haven't seen every run, but I don't think so. No, I don't think you have. He has
a single. Ben Rice to hit a home run in this game was plus 425.
Cash your ticket is Judge to right field. That's another base hit. I think he's 3 for 3 with a double and 2 singles, but no homer. Yeah, maybe you should have total bases would have cashed, but not the homer at least yet. As far as Sunday night, I like Philly. I think Wheeler's really good. Obviously, I think gets underrated. Slept on a little bit because Skeens is the new sort of flavor of the month, and he throws 102, and he's got the famous supermodel girlfriend. Wheeler is basically as good as any pitcher in the league outside of Skubal, and I understand the video game numbers that Skeens has, but it's a Cleveland lineup that I think is shaky. I think Philly's got the better lineup here, so figuring out a way to play Philly, whether it's the first 5 or just laying the juice for the full game, a Cleveland team total under. Might not be a bad play, but it would only be Philly for me. I think they win this game and win it pretty comfortably. I think it's a good matchup. Ortiz isn't bad for Cleveland. He's had some starts where he's had, 7 Ks, 8 Ks. That's been an organization that's been famous for developing pitchers, getting the most out of them. But he's had some shaky starts too. So to me, this is Philly in some shape or form or nothing. What do you have on this game, if anything?
All right, so you want a nicer way to back Philly instead of laying that minus 173? How about Zach Wheeler to record a win at minus 105? Those are pretty nice odds.
I buy it.
Yeah.
I buy it. Good one.
Yeah, I think I might fire on this one now because I did not expect it to be such a nice price. But yeah, looking at his underlying, I mean, everything looks great. His 3.35 ERA is actually, he should get some positive regression because his expected ERA is 2.36. The expected FIP is 2.49. He's throwing a career high 33% strikeout rate and a career best 4.5 walk rate. He has an average barrel rate, low hard hit rate. The only pitch that stood out to me in his arsenal is the sinker, but he has already decreased its usage, and taking its place is the splitter, which he debuted last year. It was his best pitch last year, and it's still his best pitch this year. So I like what I'm seeing from Zach Wheeler. I wasn't surprised when I always cap the games to kind of form my own opinion first, and then I go check the lines. Was not surprised at all to see how much of a favorite Phillies were, but to see minus 105 for him to just hold it down through 5 innings, I mean, I really like that, and I'm going to try to squeeze that in now before I lose it. Let's get back to the scoreboard here. So Yankees up 10-1.
Nuggets making a run. OKC making a run, I should say.
Oh, sorry,
72
yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah. Let's do NBA. My TV was on commercial. That's why I couldn't get there. No, you're right. You wanted the drama. We're getting it. Now a 1-point game. How do you think this one finishes?
I've got a feeling. Didn't I just say Denver's going? I don't want to just sit here and flip flop. I think they took Jokic off the court for a few minutes, and before you know it, a 7-8 point lead turns into a 1-point lead. If you ask me right now, just start from scratch, who wins? If you gave me true serum and asked me who I thought was going to win, I would say the Thunder, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a pretty big free throw discrepancy here too. Now that I'm looking at it, Thunder have only had 14 opportunities. Nuggets have had 28. I feel like we might hear something about the home refs after this one.
Sure. Good point.
All right. I know we're talking NBA here, but the Preakness is coming up. And if you listen to our horse racing cappers before the Kentucky Derby, you cashed big time because Mike Somich hit the superfecta. That was the most invested I had ever been in horse racing, and it was thrilling only because of the experts we have here at VSiN. So listen to them and then go bet the Preakness Stakes with First Bet and get rewarded. New customers can use the promo code VSiN200 to score a 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days. That's up to $200. Win or lose, you will get paid back. Download the First Bet app or visit first.com/bet. That's the number 1 st.com/bet. Use the promo code VSiN200, VSIN200, and get started today. That's firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200 for a 20% rebate on all wagers for the first 60 days, up to $200. One final look in on this NBA game before we head to break. Denver leading 73-72. OKC alive 1.5 point favorites with about 9.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We're going to get deeper into that game. We're going to go back to Cleveland, Indiana when we come back after this. This is Live Bet Sunday.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill. Live betting all the action across all sports leagues for you today. Want to give you an update on the Truist Championship as Sepp Straka and Shane Lowry, the final pairing of the day, start their play on hole 18. Right now, Straka leading the tournament at 16 under par, a stroke ahead of his playing mate Shane Lowry, who is at 15 under. Now they're on 18th, and wanted to point this out. Lowry scored birdie on the par 4 18th hole in round 1. He parred it the next 2 days. Straka scored par all 3 rounds on this par 4 18th. The live odds right now, Straka to win -400, Lowry 3-1. Justin Thomas, as he sits at third, 2 strokes back of the lead at 14 under. His live odds to win actually just shortened from 200 to 1 to 90 to 1. He just finished his round with a 67 for the day. So you're basically fading Straka or Lowry. If you want JT to win his second tournament in a row, you need an absolute meltdown from Straka or Lowry on the final hole here. Straka led the field in strokes gained putting after round 3. Has not had the same success today. Yesterday, he gained about 2.5 strokes on the field. Today, 1.4 strokes. But still, a good enough performance yesterday to put him in this position. So it'll be an exciting finish there at the Philly Cricket Club. And, Will, I know you want to talk about this Thunder Nuggets game, so let's get there. OKC back in the lead now, 76-73, and they are a 3.5 live favorite.
Yeah, perhaps they've withstood the punch. They were down 6 or 7 just a few moments ago, but now they're up 3 and going to the line and in the bonus here with 6:30 left as Caruso makes the first, so a chance to extend this to a 5-point game. So for as well as Denver played, as good as it was looking just a few minutes ago, now that's Sean Payton, I think, in the front row there at the Nuggets game. OKC here with a chance to even the series if they can win the next 6 minutes or so here. So still a long way to go, but OKC at least in control at the moment. And we shall see. Should be an exciting finish, I would think. But a good response here as Caruso does miss the second one. Denver with the ball now down by 4. I did want to add a bet too. Over 18.5 Yankees and A's. It's 11-2, bottom of the 5th. So you already got 13 runs. You just need 6 more. You're probably not going to, as Murray knocks down a 3, so it's now a 1-point game. I might have had a foot on the line, 77-75, a foot on the line. You're probably not going to see the better relievers for the Yankees in a 9-run lead, in a 9-run game. You're not going to see the better relievers for the A's. You might even, if this stays in a position where it's like a 9-10 run game, you might even see a position player at some point, and that could be a whole other batch of runs. So to me, over 18.5 with the way the ball is carrying there, the way these offenses are hitting the ball, over 18.5 live is a play for me.
Good call. The first pitch temperature was 75 degrees with winds carrying out to left center field at 13 miles an hour. So those winds always important, but when you're in a minor league ballpark, it makes it that much more exaggerated. The Yankees also, I believe, used 4 relievers yesterday to get through 6 outs at one point. So that bullpen is really taxed. And I love position players pitching. It's just one of the great blessings of baseball when kooky stuff happens. So that's funny. Never thought I would be rooting for a live over 16.5, but hey, we're seeing those high scoring games this year. So
sure.
Why not? Back to this OKC game. I was looking, obviously the series market is down while the game is live, but looking at the futures, the Thunder still the favorite to win the championship at plus 170. The conference finals are off the board too, but you had said it earlier that you think the winner of this game, game 4, wins the entire series.
And goes to the finals.
Ooh.
I don't think Minnesota's
Why do you
beaten
think
either
that
one.
is?
They could beat Denver. They beat them last year. But the winner of this series would have home court. Now,
That's
maybe
true.
If it goes 7, maybe they're just spent from this series, especially Denver, who played 7 games against the Clippers, 7 games against now OKC. Maybe they run out of gas if it's them versus Minnesota. I don't give Golden State pretty much any chance here with no Curry. But I do think this is a very important game, obviously, in terms of who wins this series, who ultimately comes out of the West. As it is 77-76, 5 and change left. SGA looks like draws a foul, but remember, they're in the bonus, so I believe that is going to be free throws here for the Thunder.
I can't believe. So thank goodness I didn't actually play it, but we were thinking about that live over 193.5 at halftime. It's now pacing for 181. After the first 3 games, the total closed in the 230s. This is just, I mean, I guess it's good to know you can have a team that wins multiple ways, but it's like whiplash.
Could still have overtime.
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right. Well, OKC a live 3.5 point favorite here. So you had said, if they lose this game, the big storyline is going to be that, hey, they're a regular season team. They just bully regular season teams. But if you think they advance to the finals, I mean, honestly, it's hard to say who they're going to meet there at this point. But Cavs, Celtics, you think they could beat those teams?
Yeah, they'd certainly be favored. They'd have home court because they have the best record. And they're still, look, you look at any number, they're the best team. So I think OKC, Boston would be a hell of a final. Even OKC, Cavs would be a good final. If they got there, then that means, yes, I would pick them. Because if they got there, that means they answered the test. They stood up to Denver. They withstood this series. They got past it. They beat whoever in the conference finals, and they answered some of those questions. So it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy where if they get to the finals, you don't worry as much that they're this regular season team and, people are calling them a fraud or stuff. If you get to the finals, I think they answer a lot of that, and that would make me more confident in them in the finals. I don't know. Plus 170 on them to win the finals. If you think they're winning this game, it's probably not a bad bet. Obviously, if Denver turns around and wins this game, you're stuck with a horrible bet because they're 1 game away from being eliminated, and they're down 3-1. But up 81-78 at plus 170, if you think they're going to hold on, I don't think that's a bad bet.
Right. I want to update some of these props we were keeping an eye on. SGA still at 5 assists. His line was 7.5. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but Michael Porter Jr. under 12.5 points was also something I was keeping an eye on after he talked about all the shoulder problems he's having. He's at 3 points, 29 minutes today, 1 for 6 from the floor, over 5 from deep. He's a plus 15. Plus minus though, but 3 points total. So looks like the under 12.5 would have been a good bet there. We're in commercial in that game now, it seems like, but Thunder leading 81-78, still a live 3.5 point favorite. And if you think they cover, you'll get them at a price of minus 105. If you think Denver covers the plus 3.5, they are juiced to minus 125. But I suppose that makes sense when it's a 1 possession spread in a tight game like this. I think we can squeeze in some quick thoughts on the later game here. The Cavs still a 5.5 point favorite in Indy with a total of 231. I think that was the highest total of all game 4s. But do you have any leans in this one?
I'd go Indy, if anything. I didn't bet it. I do think that similar to OKC Denver, and we had Justin Rowan on earlier, and he alluded to it. The winner of this game probably wins the series if Cleveland can get it 2-2 with 5 at home and 7 at home, and their players all relatively healthy again, at least return to the lineup. They're in probably good shape to win the series. Same thing with Indy. If they go up 3-1, even though they don't have home court, they should probably figure out a way to win one of the next 3 and get it and advance the next round. I would look for a closer game here. I think, remember, Indy played really well in Cleveland the first 2 games. Who knows how healthy Garland is? It looked like he re-aggravated that toe at the end of game 3. So need more, obviously, out of Haliburton. I mean, for as good a player as Haliburton is, and he's really in lows, he had some incredible shots in these postseason, in this playoffs, these postseason games. To have 4 points on Friday night and completely no-show, that zone for Cleveland really gave Indy fits. You figure they'd be better prepared today. So I will take Indy plus the 5.5. If I had to bet it, I'll call it a bet. Indy plus 5.5. G-Bank, best bets. I know we're not doing it yet, but I will. I'll take the Pacers plus the 5.5. Do you have any feel one way or another? I know you're not a big NBA bettor.
I do have a feel, and I will give those feels out after this break. Now, what y'all need to know. Yeah, how's that for a tease? This summer, you really need to take a visit to Circa Las Vegas. They are offering you the ultimate getaway package for just $400. And here's what you get for that price. A 2-night stay at Circa. First of all, where can you get a 2-night stay anywhere for $400? A $100 dining credit, a $100 beverage credit, and your very own daybed at Stadium Swim, where the party never stops. Can confirm. All for just $400, resort fees and taxes included. Don't miss out. Lock in your all-summer package now at circalasvegas.com.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.